Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to Let's Talk About It, Steph. I am here with two special guests today. Of course, one of them is not a well, you know what? Neither one of them are guests. They have been here before. Dale, my co-host, he's here tonight, and we're definitely going to be getting into these hot topics, talking about the ice situation and what's going on with Greenland, and let the candidates come on here and talk about what's going on in their life and in their campaign. So I'm gonna bring up my co-host Del Frey. Y'all, let's bring Del Frey up.
Hey, how you doing?
Hi Del.
Good
Great.
to
How
see you.
are you doing today?
Doing all right. Doing all right. I definitely will say that was quite a pun that I think you made there without realizing when you said we're going to get into these hot topics, especially when it comes to this ice situation. As you may know, we're about to see a very serious ice situation this weekend, and by that I mean the cold snap that's going to happen. So getting ready for that. I
Yes,
actually
we're
just
gonna
got back from the
definitely talk
grocery
about
store.
that.
Yeah, I just got back from the grocery store, like just in time for this podcast because I was preparing for the snowmageddon. But yeah, tell us all about it, Keith. And let's bring on our next guest and have him introduce himself.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, Kenneth.
Dr. Kenneth.
Okay.
All right,
Kenneth, don't get started now. We're supposed to be halfway good today.
okay, Lord, let me pray, Lord. Have mercy, Lord. Help me. He didn't rename me. No.
Sorry.
All right, guys, for those of you that do not remember, I'm the infamous, the famous Dr. Kenneth Morgan Aguilera, your next congressman for Texas 12th Congressional District. Oh, silent.
Oh,
I feel comfortable.
I know. That's the first time he's ever been that quiet.
I was gonna say you could say more.
Yeah.
Well, I don't often get invited back, on the Talk Steph show, so I have to be careful. When we go political these days, you kind of get annihilated. I kind of feel like Greenland over here. But anyway, guys, again,
Oh,
Dr. Kenneth Morgan Aguilera, and I'm running for Congress here in Texas 12th Congressional District. I am a 100% grassroots candidate, but for those of you that want to know what I stand for, I'm a huge advocate for healthcare, universal healthcare to make it straight, universal healthcare, universal education, a universal daycare system, as well as a universal education system. I'm also a big advocate and advocate for Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, and making sure our veterans are getting the proper health care they need today. Because as you all know, we are all being screwed over by this current administration. So I am all for the fight, and I say bring it on. Let's get it started. And we got Miss Stephanie on here who's running for precinct commissioner, and I'm amongst celebrities tonight, so I don't even know how to act. I'm one of the little small peons here. So I don't know what to say or what to do anymore. I'm privileged.
well, well, Mr. Privilege. I mean, I'm just, Dale, I don't like how this thing is set up. Wait a minute. I'm looking a little like Aaliyah. Hold on.
If you want to be in the center, you can click and drag it.
Yes.
There we go.
Okay. I'm
Okay.
better. Okay. That's
All right.
better.
Good.
You know, y'all, I'm picky. I'm just so.
Ooh, hold up! No, she didn't. No, she didn't put the Stephanie Draper in the background.
You see it?
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
I have
Well,
to be careful with that name.
everybody not
You know what I
able,
mean?
but you could be Donald Trump last night on TV for 2 hours, doing your briefing about your 1 year in office.
Let me tell you something before we get into anything else and talk about ICE and all this craziness is going on. I got off of my W 2 job, got on 114, racing, trying to hurry up and get home so I can watch one of my favorite shows. And they need to pay me as much as I watch it. General Hospital. Those that know me, I like my Dr. Pepper and my General Hospital. Why was he on? I said I could have had went and washed my car. He was on. Talking about nothing. He ruined my day. I need to find out what's going on with Drew. I need to see what's going on.
I
But
ain't hospital in new 20 years. I didn't know that show still came on. Ain't everybody dead on that show by now?
No, but they are dropping off.
So, I ain't seen it since One Life to Live came on and All My Children, and I don't think none of those exist anymore. Now I'm telling my age.
No, those are all gone. General Hospital is still going, and I'm in that General Hospital fan club, and we riding tough. I've been watching General Hospital since mom kicked me out of her womb, so I've been a General Hospital fan ever since. So I think that's the only way they knew how to deal with me is put me in front of the TV and let me watch that and watch how they do all the crazy stuff. They just drama. They just full of drama. As long as Sonny, Carly, and Jason on there, I will continue watching.
I don't know who none of those characters is. I, I don't ever remember watching General Hospital other than when my grandmother used to watch it as a kid. And that's when Susan Lucci would kind of go to all three when they all used to connect to one another, in their viewing from 11 o'clock to 12 to 1 o'clock. So they all connected and like went off from one station to the next one. But that's how long it's been since I watched General Hospital. My grandmother was alive and she's been gone 40 years. Yeah, that's a long time, Stephanie. But yeah,
I know.
he interrupted everybody's show yesterday with that rhetoric for 2 hours.
I know. You know what? When I seen him and he started lying, he started talking about Biden. I'm like, I'm not gonna watch this. I want to watch General Hospital, so I do what I normally do. I went and took a nap.
I don't know how anybody does it, Stephanie. I don't know how they tolerate him. I can't do it because when he go on, all I instantly see and hear is the lies that he's telling when he says he's done the most any president dead or alive has ever done. I can say he's done the most damage than any alive or dead president has done because this man is going to have us in a war pretty soon. And I got two kids going off to the military, and one is already gone, and he's still in boot camp. And
Oh,
and as sad as I am, I tried to talk him out of it. I tried, and I know I'm a veteran. Dale, I believe you a veteran too. Um,
I'm a veteran's wife and a mother of an active
yeah,
soldier.
I can't. I can't. I can't support that commander in chief and Pete Hegseth. I cannot. I cannot. That's all I can say is I cannot do it. I am ashamed to say that I am a veteran in this day and time with that man sitting in the White House who is using us as his personal shield and armor. You-
Yeah, that's it's absolutely disgusting. And when you say how can these people tolerate this, I don't really know if they do. Again, I might be too nice right now when I say this, but I have noticed that a lot of my family members who are Republican, they basically kind of recently tune out the news. Like there's a couple of my family members who are on the other side of the aisle, and I'll overhear them say like um, oh, I don't want to watch the news because everything's just so negative nowadays. And it's like,
Mhm.
well, whose fault is that? Who did you vote for? You know what I mean? Like, that's what I think. But I think it's the type of thing where some of them, like these family members of mine, I think they realize deep inside they realize, so they just kind of don't want to see it because when they see it, when they do turn on the TV, they realize that maybe they realize how bad it is. Now, granted, everyone's their different own mind. There still are Trump supporters out there, but I think the base on their side is shrinking a little bit. And I think Donald Trump knows that. And the reason I think he knows that is because that's the reason he did the gerrymandering here in Texas to redistrict the maps, because they're scared of this upcoming 2026 midterm. Because I think Democrats are going to have a blue wave. And I think they know that. And that's why they had to try to gerrymander. But I don't know. Anything can happen in elections, though. So I'm not gonna overthink it or give my hopes up for sure.
I think the blue wave is a given. I don't think, and I hate to use the term given, but people are so fed up. I don't care which side of the aisle they on, they want change and they're voting for it hand over feet. Whether you're talking about North Carolina, Virginia election, everybody's switching teams and they want something different. But I try to tell people and I try to steer away from saying that the problems we got today is a Republican or a Democrat. The problem is a government issue, Dale. And I don't care which party you lay in, it shouldn't be about a Republican or a Democrat. It should be about doing what's in the best interest of all people. And we need a government whether that means we reform the parties to where it's combined or it's a whole new one, but we need one where we actually are serving the interest of the people, regardless of a party, because that's what it's supposed to be about. We should be able to put our politics aside and do what's in the best interest of everybody, and that's what it should be about. And it's not. And I think if we can get back to that point in life where it's about that, I think things will severely improve for all of us. And I just
Yeah.
don't know. Yeah, I don't know how else to do it. And like you, Dale, I'm getting sick and tired of the TV. I'm getting tired of watching the news, and I turn it off and I tune it out sometimes because if it ain't the young lady that's being pew pewed in Minnesota is trumping his lies, or Grinder Mike and his stories, it doesn't matter to me. And it's just it's going from bad to worse. I'm trying to
To worsen, man. That's not even a word. Yeah.
let's see if I can help this.
I totally agree with you on that. It's like right now, I had to kind of like turn off social media for a minute and the TV, the news, and start watch. If I'm going to watch something, like I said, I go to watch my general hospital so I can escape from the crazy stuff that's going on. Because if you're on social media, you watching it on YouTube, and I love my YouTube, so don't be, like, subscribe, and share. But when you're on these social medias and everybody keep talking about the same thing over and over again, it puts you in a depression. And then you go head off to the grocery store, or you get your bill from CoServe or Fort Worth Water or wherever you get your utilities from, and you're sitting up here like, my raise did not go up, my paycheck didn't go up, but all my utilities are going up. The cost of food is high. You have to really decide on what is it that I'm going to cook for the week. What am I going to do? Because everything costs a lot. So people are not spending like they used to. I know several people right now that are looking for a job because in December, right before Christmas, they were let go. And they're used to making pretty decent money. And this government does not care. They don't care about the people. And it's like, what are y'all doing? Are you sitting on your hands? What are y'all doing? Are y'all afraid to act? Because I feel as though, and I guess I'm wearing my feelings on my shoulders right now, but I feel as though this country is headed in the wrong direction. And I'm not going to call the people who voted for this man out because they already know what they're doing. They living in, they breathing in, they sleeping in it. They know. Now the
Yeah.
problem is what we're going to do to fix it, because y'all know, as much as I hate to say this, but we're going to have to go in there and help kind of correct this, because what's happening right now, they're hurting all of us across the board. Like you just said, Dr. Kim, that you have a child that's getting ready to go into the service. I have one right now that's in the service that I don't know what's going to wind up happening. I have other friends that have kids in the service too. All of us soldiers' moms, we're sitting up here like nervous, like what's going to happen. One told me that her kid might have to go overseas. Greenland.
I don't think that he's gonna have the option to try to take Greenland. As much as he talks trash and he garbage talks, he can't declare that war without Congress giving him the approval. And I'm having a hard time with the idea of believing that Congress is gonna allow him to do that. But if he does manage to get away with that, or to declare a war, or to try to take Greenland like Putin and everybody else did these other lands, it's going to be an all right out war with NATO and every other one else is in this treaty. That's going to be an attack because Trump has taken us from every other external organization that we was part of. The day he came into office, he signed agreements and exited certain plans, and we're all risk. It doesn't matter which function of the government we go into, we are not equipped to fight NATO and every ally that comes in because we want to go in and take over Greenland when we already have an agreement that allows us to put as many military there as we want, as many bases as we want, with a cohesive group. So to switch it up because he got his feelings hurt because he didn't get a fucking Nobel Peace Prize is an attack and an assault on our democracy. And I'm frankly, I'm sorry, I'm tired, and I'm fed up. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm fed up, Stephanie. I get so sick of hearing everybody come on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and talk about all the fucking problems, excuse my French, but nobody wants to talk about a solution. I'm sick of hearing about what's wrong. Do something about it. We got over
Fix it.
435 members in the House, and we got 100 members in the Senate. So out of 535 individuals that are in the government, you tell me not one of them SOBs can do anything to rein this man in? Stop talking about it. It is a political year. I know it. I get it. But I'm so sick of hearing what's wrong. They have the ability, Stephanie, to do something right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, they need to
I
throw
was
the 25 on him. They need to go ahead and just go do it, impeach him and remove him. And not only when you remove him, you need to remove the whole administration. But once again, I'm saying this is what that needs to happen. But here's the thing: who are gonna have to go run the country?
Well, it would be JD Vance, I suppose, but I mean, at the
Well,
same time,
no.
Now, if they remove the
We
whole
impeach, we
administration, he's
impeach
gone
his
too.
entire administration, then it will fall to actually that whole damn administration. It will fall to a member to the senior member of Senate. Would
Yeah,
actually whoever's the Senate majority leader would actually fall to because the secretary is and all those things under his administration right now. So we can impeach his entire administration with him. It can
yeah,
be done. And so then it will fall to the Senate. So whoever's the House Senate majority leader, if my government free enterprise sticks with me, it falls to the Senate.
yeah. It's the Senate. The House
uh,
can bring it to the Senate, and the Senate has to try them. Which,
oh, okay. I was confused upon what the topic was.
No, no,
So
let me rephrase.
I do know when the impeachment starts in the House and then it's confirmed by the
yes,
Senate.
In the Senate.
Yeah,
But now,
but if
what I
the
think,
president is removed, then it goes to the vice president, and if the vice president is removed, I think then temporarily the Speaker of the House um, temporarily has something like presidential powers until a new president is found. But I will say this: Eugene Scott commented on our Facebook feed saying, "Unfortunately, I can't count on Republicans to vote against their party. I'm around Republicans for 8 to 10 hours a day, and they won't say a word against the Trump administration." Now, I will say, Eugene, I think, and I've seen the same thing. I'm not around them as often as you are, but I think some of them won't say either. Well, in my experience, some of them won't say a word against the Trump administration, or some of them just don't feel like talking about the Trump administration anymore. But either way, I don't know how likely it is that Republicans will actually be for an impeachment of the current administration unless Donald Trump actually literally goes too far. But
I
if
don't,
this is not going too
he
far already,
already
then yeah,
has.
yeah.
yeah, I don't.
The worst thing he could wind up doing, which he's already gearing up to do, is start actually physically harming American people right now, which they're already in the process of doing. It's like he has he has everything that he needs to do whatever he wants to do, and it's gonna take those Republicans that say that they got big whatever to get off of their butts and do their job. Because I guarantee you, Senate, if your position is up, if your seat is up this year, you're not coming back because there's too many people that are being hurt. And you're allowing this to happen. And then you have the MAGA, they're gonna follow him to he's a Jim Jones. They're gonna follow him to the end. If he tells them to drink the Kool-Aid, they're gonna drink the Kool-Aid. They are. Even if it's killing them, they're gonna do it. Now the old school Republican people, I feel as though they're waking it up, but they're so scared to step up. It's only a handful of them that are behind the scenes.
Well, I think, Stephanie, that no matter what, there is going to be a huge change here in 2026 this year
Yeah.
with the election. It's going to be a huge change, But is it going to be enough that people finally say, okay, once we fix the shit this time, we're not going to go back? Because history has shown that in the past, when we fix the things that the previous party messes up, whether it's bouncing the budget or getting laws changed or things put back in place, then I hate doing this, and I hate saying Republican, Democrat, because I hate doing that. But what has historically happened in the past is that after we have a Republican president in office, we are followed by an 8-year election of a Democrat president in a Democratic House, in which we get things back under control and we get things back in place. But every time we get it put back in place, and then when party shifts, the Republicans go back into power. Everything that we just spent the last 8 years putting back in place and fixing, it shifts right back. So with this change and after everything that has happened under this current administration, will it be enough that the people say, we don't want the shit to shift backwards anymore? We want to continue on this ship going forward and not going backwards, because we can't keep reinventing this wheel every 4 to 8 years when there's a change in administration, because it's gonna keep happening over and over and over and over again. The only difference is things haven't been this extreme since the late 1800s, late 1800s, early 1900s is when things were this bad. And so people are saying we've never seen this before, but we have, Stephanie. We have seen this before. We have been here before. But the
Yeah.
difference is, what are we going to do as a society, as voting members of Congress, House, constituents? What are we going to do? Because it takes almost 100 years to get past 4 to 8 bad years.
Yeah, I absolutely agree, and I'll add on to that. So, like, yes, we have seen this before, but I think what's different is the speed at which the pendulum swings. We've always seen before how the pendulum swings back and forth from the left to the right, and as kind of mentioned, we usually see 8 years, or basically 2 terms of one side having control, and then pendulum goes to the other side, and for usually 2 cycles. But we're seeing the pendulum swing back and forth, and I feel like it's swinging farther and farther, not just to either side, but now it's swinging, I think, farther to the right than we've ever seen before in the past.
Yeah.
So I sometimes worry that, when you have a speeding up of the pendulum swinging, I sometimes wonder, man, to speak in the metaphor of a clock with the pendulum, I worry about the time where that pendulum swings so hard to the right that it breaks the clock. But I don't want my mind to go to dark places, and I will say definitely, like, what are we going to do? Well, the only thing we can do is vote, because I don't foresee the current makeup of the Congress voting in favor of an impeachment, and so we definitely have to vote in this upcoming midterm election.
But they are, and Stephanie, I don't think voting honestly is going to be enough. I just do not feel that voting is enough. I don't feel that all of the protests is great, but we need a combination of protests, the voices, the standing up. We can't do one and expect one will be a shoe that fits all. We got to change what we're doing. Otherwise, it's insanity to expect a different outcome, but we continue to do the same thing. This is completely different, and things have happened so progressively quick under this administration that it's fearful, because when we swing it back, how far back left is it going to go, and how bad is it going to hurt the people? Because I believe that when, because it's not if, it's when we impeach Trump, there's going to be such a huge uprising in his followers. You thought the insurrection was bad when it happened the last time. When Trump is impeached, we're going to have a huge fallout from his following base, that it's going to be bad. Because I don't think I'm confident we're going to have to change in November 2026 when he's impeached, once we get control of the House, so he won't see the full 4-year term. But his mega base, I think, is going to start almost, I want to say, like a Rodney King thing, when we had years ago when Rodney King was attacked, and there was a breakout across the world where everybody was fighting and rioting and looting. I think it's going to be that bad, but I believe Trump wants that. He knows that things are going to get that bad.
Yeah, I think
That's
the
where we
only
have to go through the strategy thing, and people have to think outside of the box. He don't care. You can sit up there and scream till you can't scream anymore and get in people's faces and stuff like that. He does not care. He laughs at them. He laughs at us if we're out there marching and using our voices, right?
Mm-hmm.
So people like that only responds to money.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna hit you up on game. When you dealing with people like that, you got to hit him where it hurts. Find his weak spot and start tearing it down. So we
Yeah.
know number one, he loves his hotels, and his hotels probably suck right about now. You know, that's what he's into. He loves golf. Start taking stuff away from him. If he's not doing what he's supposed to be doing, and I know they're supposed to have, I don't know if they dropped that case against him in New York, but start hitting him where it hurts. Start hitting him with that money. Start taking stuff away from him. I like it when they tell him no, because when you tell him no, he reacts like a kid. So how do you discipline your child that is spoiled and thinks that they're privileged and supposed to get everything they want?
You that
That's how
ass.
you deal with him.
You whoop that
It-
ass.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Spare
how,
the rod or spoil the child, as they say.
yeah,
I'll add another perspective, though. Here's something what I'm seeing too, and I know the following is a glass half full mentality, right?
yeah,
But honestly, I don't know how many more days Donald Trump has. If you look at his cognitive decline, I mean, he's very old. And
Aggressive.
I mean, he does not have the energy that he used to have. There was a segment I was seeing that was comparing Donald Trump's recent speeches to Donald Trump in the past when he was first running for office for the presidency. And it is like two different individuals. He still has kind of the same mannerisms, but he's far more slower now and he has a lot less energy. And also considering he's having all these MRIs done all the time, I don't know if he's really going to be surviving for like another year or two, right? I mean, granted,
yeah,
I would never wish death upon anybody, but it just
We
seems
don't
like,
get
look,
so lucky.
people get old and these things eventually happen.
We
But
can only
I will also say this too, because we have another comment on Facebook. Eugene Scott is saying, I wish they would stand up for the American people, but they won't. Just look at Minnesota and how they see how wrong ICE is treating the citizens. But I'm not seeing Republicans stand against ICE.
that's another thing. They want to give ICE, if I'm not mistaken, was it another 80 million or $80 billion ICE to increase their budget? I'll be damned.
yeah,
I
That's
be
the one big beautiful bill act.
oh no no
Yes.
no
yeah.
no 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 no
HR one.
no 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 no. They actually went back and asked for an additional increase deal above that, and it's being voted on right now in the House.
Oh, I did not know that.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, Donald Trump them has asked for some additional allocations for ICE, and I be damn if I agree to give ICE any more damn money. And as much as I'm starting to I believe that ICE needed oversight and regulation, but I'm almost starting to feel like we need to dismantle the whole damn program. Because there's no respect, there's no morals. They're not following the HHS protocol. Even when they pew pew the young lady in her head, none of the policies and procedures were followed under
Yeah,
HHS guidelines of de-escalating, getting out of the way. Can you move? Is there any other alternative before resulting to to lethal force? And the gentleman that pew pew Nicole, is it Nicole?
yes.
Was good.
I wouldn't even call him a gentleman.
And I'm putting loosely because
No,
to me he's less than a man. What he did was vile, and people raised millions of dollars for him on GoFundMe accounts, which goes
you
against the whole.
you
Anyway,
know not Chick-fil-A, Chipotle gave $10,000 to him. And I'm like, well,
and we
I
need
guess
to
I won't be
protest.
going there.
We need to protest Chipotle because
Yeah.
look, it's been this way. When our Supreme Court allowed Donald Trump's regime to racially profile again in California, it was a matter of time before it went from the brown to the black skin, and then the white people are not exempt. I'm sorry. If you
I
do
mean,
not
they're
fit
not.
a certain criteria or into a certain mold, you are not exempt from being targeted in this regime. So if you thought you were going to be exempt and you thought, okay, this is just going to be for the Mexicans or the immigrants, you're sadly mistaken because now they are targeting the blacks, now they're targeting the whites. And this is a prime example. The young lady that was unalived was a white female. They unalived a white female in the middle of broad daylight, and this would not have happened 5 years
And then
ago.
he called her a B.
Yeah,
Correct.
and yeah, her last words were, I'm not mad at you," and his last words was "FUB." But I'll also add to what Kenneth was just saying because it's not even about skin color. It's just about hate. It's just about sheer pure hate. There to one example of this. I mean, I can go back in time and say back in the day, the Irish were not considered white, Italians were not considered white back in the day. But nowadays, what we're seeing is I saw this interesting segment on a podcast called Knowledge Fight. They're kind of like a right wing watch, particularly for Alex Jones. And Alex Jones was having a debate with Nick Fuentes. And you can clearly see they weren't saying it out loud, but you can clearly tell they were having an argument upon what white was considered. And in the world of Alex Jones at InfoWars, he believed that Jews were inclusive of being white. And very clearly to Nick Fuentes, it was not. If Nick Fuentes had his way, he would, quote, shoot all the Jews into the sun, end quote. And when you have people like this, now I know that Nick Fuentes is extremely far right, and a lot of my family members say, "Oh, Dale, Nick Fuentes is on his own planet." But I say, well, Donald Trump has dined with Nick Fuentes, with Kanye West by his side. Laura Loomer hangs out with Donald Trump almost more than Donald Trump hangs out with his own wife. So, I mean, I know that some of these far right extremists, some people say like, "Oh, they don't count as Republican." Well, there are associations here, right? And it's not just 6 degrees of separation; it's closer than that. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, that was just something like as Kenneth was saying, like, oh, like it's white people are not safe. No one is safe. That's the sad thing here. Oh, look at this. Who we got? We got a new guest on the show.
Grandbaby. Say hello, Kalila. See, this is one of the reasons why I have to fight so hard. This is my baby. This is my
Yeah.
this is my youngest grandbaby.
Adorable. How you doing?
Wonderful.
Hi.
Hey,
How
welcome to
old?
Let's Talk About It Style.
These are the reasons we have to fight because of these young ones. Because they don't understand, Dale, the fight that we're dealing with. And it's not going to get better. It's not going to improve unless we do some major changes, some major overhaul. Because Donald Trump said in his 2 hour, Donald Trump said in his 2 hour, you gone, mama? Donald Trump said in his 2 hour little presentation yesterday on the news, he still commended what ICE did. He's still standing behind what ICE did to that young woman. And I don't understand who, what, how he could even stand behind and defend what happened and think that it is good because there is nothing good about what has done. Now, what I have not heard anymore is they had brought articles of impeachment to the floor for Christy Nome.
Yeah,
I don't.
I
she's
did
been
not
in
hear that.
ears this week.
Yeah, I don't hear any more about what's happening with her impeachment because it went silent. But why is it the Republicans are willing to impeach just hey? Why are they willing to impeach just her? Why not
Yeah.
PXF? A number of things have occurred that violated our the what is it? The security of the nation, the security of America. Whether it was Pete Hegseth in that Signal Gate issue with the texting messages, whether it was things Christy Nome has done, or Kaka Cash Patel with the jet flying his little 25-year-old girlfriend around. We have had so many things happen under this administration from one extreme to the next. What makes Christy Nome behavior so far out there that they're only doing her and not the rest?
I got an
Because
answer
she's a
for you.
woman.
Well, no, well, okay, maybe that too. I think it's because of the handling of the Jeffrey Epstein files, because I think that's a very, very, very like soft spot right now, a very delicate spot, and I think it
But
has been
that's
for
not
quite
on
some
her
time.
though, Dale.
Okay, but
Sorry.
but now
That's not on Christy. Christy's thing is about the security of the country. Now
Oh,
that's
wait,
the
that's right.
other girl.
I'm sorry, I swapped that
Pam
up. Okay.
Bundy. Okay, but
Okay.
Pam Bundy is behind the Epstein files, and remember, they had a certain time frame to release all the files, and only 1% of the Epstein's files have been released. 1%. That means 99% is still outstanding, but yet they want to bring the Clintons up on criminal charges behind the Epstein
Yes.
files, but but the other Republican parties, the Republican individuals that were subpoenaed, was able to give written testimony and be exempt from coming down to testify on the Hill. So how is it you can set this one set of standard for one individual and not for the same? Now, let me preface this by saying I don't give a damn who's in office. If you mistreated those young women in any form or fashion, you deserve to be penalized and prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. I don't care if it was Donald Trump. I don't care if it was Barack Obama. I don't care if it was Bill Clinton. If you broke the law and you violated those young women, young ladies, you deserve to pay the penalties for whatever you've done wrong. Period. I don't care what color party you are. I don't care how big your bank account is. You need to pay. So there is no one way for them and one way for us. Across the board, it should be the same standard no matter who is in that hot seat. And right now, they're all in a hot seat. And when Donald Trump said, "Oh yeah, we can release the Epstein files," I'll sign the petition. But right before he signed it, he allowed Pam to. He called for another open investigation because the law also says if there's an open investigation, you can refuse to release files. And what did she do? We are investigating right now the Clintons and the other people that came out of it. So here we are.
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy. It's I forgot to drop this meme while we're talking about Christy Nome. I saw this meme that says, "Christy Nome is like a box of chocolates. They'll both kill your dog." Anyways, I'm not gonna. But yeah, the Epstein stuff. I sometimes think that maybe Democrats, maybe we should say like what we're running on. We say one thing I'm running on is to release the Epstein files, just like how Donald Trump was running on that same thing back when he ran, right? Because there's a lot of things that Donald Trump promised that I think we should start promising right now too. Case in point, Donald Trump ran on affordability, and
Let's
yeah.
target that. Let's target the Epstein file. Okay, I'm gonna start there. If we let's say you run on the Epstein files and you successfully get to the floor with a petition to force the release. Remember, it has to go through the Senate. It has to go through the House, through the Senate, then to the president. And if the president vetoes, it has to go back to get 2/3 Congress and 2/3 the House and 2/3 Senate again to override the president's veto to release. Then you still got the Department of Justice. So we can make these false claims of what we're going to promise and underdeliver because we're promising people things that we know damn well we're not
We can't deliver.
deliver. You cannot.
Exactly.
You
True.
cannot. Trump offered things that he couldn't deliver. Now, if he'd have said, okay, now the next thing you said was affordability. Affordability is a major issue for everybody. This is something that we can control, but it's still going to take more than just Stephanie, Dale, or me. It's going to take the House. It's going to take the Senate to work together. Even if we get a president that is not on board, we can still pass the thing to bring down affordability with 2/3 of the House and 2/3 of the Senate. So I don't want to get on my kickbox in the campaign and make all these promises. I want people to understand that the promises I'm making is contingent upon us being able to successfully recapture the House and the Senate, and we're going to need 2/3 majority. Go ahead, Dale.
Absolutely. So I agree with you there. So when you say like, oh, I don't want to start campaigning on, I'm going to release the Epstein files because we're kind of already a mess right now where it was supposed to be released already. What? So you don't want to make empty promises. I get that. But I think you can promise is doing, and I thought there was a motion for this already, but a motion to hold the Department of Justice to contempt, to basically say, hey, you are by law supposed to be releasing everything now, only less than 1% is. Therefore, we got to hold you in contempt of Congress.
Now,
I haven't. I don't know where the status is of that, but I know we need to continue to push that because we should be able to say, hey, look, Donald Trump has already signed a thing already saying that the Epstein files should be released. So we need to hold the Department of Justice's feet to the fire. You don't need Donald Trump's approval to do that. I believe Congress should be
I
able
know,
to
but you
summon.
do. I'm going to tell you to the extent that you do. The Department of Justice works under the president's authority. So even if we get Congress and Senate to agree to bring them up on charges, who's going to enforce that? Because the Department of Justice falls under the purview of the president. If he don't enforce
But
it,
see, Pam Bundy is supposed to be the head chief and be basically the person that
for the
controls the DOJ for the country. She's supposed to do her job. She's not lawyering for the country. She's not protecting the country. How I see it, she's not. She's just not doing her job. Christy, Nolan, whatever her name is, she is not doing her job either.
none of the
It's
administration.
one thing you say that you're going to go and protect the border, Did we have a problem at the border? I believe we did have a problem at the border. They keep bringing up the fact that Obama was sending millions of people out and we didn't act up. Here's the thing though, Obama is a classy man. He's a classy, smart man. He does things in order.
Mhm.
He doesn't do things in chaos. And that's what this group of people are doing because they want to wear a big 10-gallon hat and put on all this huge pounds of makeup on and do selfies and stuff like I'm doing something. And you actually are not. You hurting the country. Now, she used to be the governor of Dakota. If she, I don't know how the hell she got put it, became the governor of Dakota in the first place. I guess it was only three people or something that went to go vote. I don't know. But she's not for the country. She's
Yeah,
just not.
absolutely. Yeah,
And we need to have her she needs to go. And I hope that the Senate does their job and get her gone. Quit yelling at her. Quit telling her that she's a liar. She knows she's a liar.
yeah,
Go ahead, do what you gotta do and just get her gone.
We
Don't do
yeah,
this song and dance and tell her, well, tell me the truth. Did you lie? You know damn well she is not gonna sit up here and tell you that she lied. You know she's not gonna do it.
this is what
Let
we
her talk and hang her own self, and then you do your part and go ahead, prosecute her, and send her ass to jail.
hmm But see,
Period.
what they seem to forget, the only one that has immunity on Capitol Hill is Trump. The rest of them
Exactly.
will end up in jail, like some of the Nixons. The last time
Yeah.
things were this bad
Man.
was almost bad was under Nixon, and even Nixon's attorney general went to jail. And so
Yep.
they are failing to realize that they are going to be held accountable because he can't be in office forever. And
Nope.
while he may try to give pardons to them, but he can't pardon them from state level crimes for the kind of crimes they have committed in Texas, California, New York. We can bring state level charges on each of these people in the administration. So there are different ways to get to that's different ways to skin a cat. But we're
But
gonna
see, here's the thing. Since you mentioned that, Kenneth, now here in Texas, you know they ain't gonna bring up no charges for her because look what they did to Paxson. And he was dead guilty on the stuff that he did. So if they acquitted him, they're going to do the same for her. They're not going to bring up charges against her. The only way that we're going to be able to succeed to bring up anything against her as statewide, we're going to have some Democrats that got some tough skin that's going to bring it to her. I believe that California governor, he's going to do it.
yeah,
Who else we have?
we're gonna need some major changes, and I think we're gonna
Yeah,
see blue from East Coast to the West Coast, North to South. We're gonna see a huge blue change in the way things are done. But going to just looking at the Texas political arena, Jasmine
it's a
Crockett
mess.
and even between Jasmine and Tallarico, I'm watching the way things are playing out because part of that race now we ain't mentioned is Ken Paxton. He's in that same race running for that Senate.
Yeah,
And this man has no morals, no character. He has no class. This is the same man that was hollering about it was okay, but he was out cheating on his wife. Now you want to
right.
talk about moral clause and putting the Ten Commandments into classrooms, but one of the Ten Commandments was, isn't it, thou shalt not cheat or thou shalt not lie, thou shalt not
Thou
commit
shalt not
adultery,
commit adultery.
yeah.
and
Thou shalt not covet. Yeah,
correct cover that cover
Your
that.
neighbor's wife.
So you want to get on this hill that you've already died on, and so you can't. But now the problem I have, Stephanie, whether it's with Tallarico and with Jasmine, I want to see our team of Democrats unite, Stephanie. I don't want to continue to see the fighting and the bickering between the teams. I know people keep saying that, oh, let the voters decide in the primary in March. We have too many things at stake right now to have 10 people running for Senate, the votes divided and split, people are raising billions of dollars, and then each one of us have to go out and ask for money and ask donations to raise because the campaigns are money ran, and without money, you don't get far. Though I know everybody's doing this grassroots, and it may not matter for this 2026 election. It may not. However, you got even amongst our team, Stephanie, there's so much controversy amongst the Democratic team.
It
Nobody's
is.
killing each other. I want to see Jasmine Crockett reach down and help her fellow people that are running. I want to see
Mhm.
Tallarico reach down and help. Tallarico has clout. Jasmine Crockett has clout. But what I have not seen them do, neither one of them, I have not seen either one of them reach down on a state level and help their fellow congressmen running, help their county commissioners running. I have not seen them come out to help Stephanie Simmons. What is it? What is her? Elisa Simmons. I have not seen them helping the people that are running for state office, the agricultural commission. I have not seen
Wait,
any.
now she's helping Clayton. Clayton, what is it? Clayton Tucker. She's helping him a little bit, but I'm gonna tell you like this here, and not throwing shade at Jasmine or James,
Mhm,
Tallarico. I'm gonna say it like this here: if you're the candidate, don't have a viable race,
mhm.
they're not. So they think, because right now people could say the same thing with them,
Yeah,
right? If they feel like some of these big time politicians, if they feel like you don't have a viable race, they're not going to reach down there. The first thing they're going to ask you is how much money you raise. So if you're not, and they don't get it, if I could raise some money, your name alone will help me get looks,
that part.
get likes, raise money, because it's like, oh, she's smart. Whether it's viable or not, you reach down and you pull the other one up, regardless whether they win or lose. Because guess what? If you lose, if that candidate still loses that race, you done brought attention to that race, to that candidate. So maybe that next person say, well, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and do it. I got the money because you don't pull the points up. It's about
Correct.
numbers and it's about money. But some of these candidates don't get it. They think about themselves, and that's it. And that's one of the reasons why I decided, what, 2 years ago, to do Let's Talk About It staff and bring candidates on here so they had a platform regardless of whether I'm running or not. I want to be able to bring people up so other people can see who they are, what they represent, and help them. I might not can help you financially, but I sure can use my platform to try to help a person reach out to the people. And that's something that we have to do. You don't always have to use money. Sometimes go to one of their events and go speak. You
Correct.
know, Helen already had reached out to me and told me, hey, let me. I'll come. If you have an event, I'll come. So guess what I'm gonna do? Whether people like him or not, I like him. I'm
Yeah,
gonna reach out to him.
yeah,
Julie Johnson came to one of my events before, so they know that they, you know what, I just said it. They're old school. They know how to work it.
yeah. And this is why I say I'm upset with this current race, Stephanie. And I know I'm upset with Jasmine. I'm upset with Tallarico. I want them to reach down and help the entire ticket as a whole. Texas is struggling. Texas is going through a whole lot of change right now. We don't all come together as one. We're screwed, for lack of a better word. And I have a nice TikTok following, but I watch these people, and all you hear them talk about is Crockett and Tallarico. But the race is more than Tallarico and Crockett. We also these local elections that are running in these counties and these county commissioners. Look at Tim O'Hare and the shit Tim O'Hare is doing.
So
No,
Alicia,
yeah,
yeah,
nobody's doing it. But Tim O'Hare also kicked people out of the courtroom during open mic for people to make voice their concerns. So it's a people issue, and I don't see Jasmine doing it. I don't see Tallarico doing it. So I'm not seeing that one over the other one. But I'm sorry. I want to see these people that have the political clout and the understanding to help, because Tallarico has raised $13 million, and I know Jasmine has raised a hell of a lot more than that. Use those resources and give it back to the community and help your local candidates that are running, because again, we all got to work together. Because if we all get to these state level positions and these federal level positions, Stephanie, we all got to work together to build the economy in the country back up to where it needs to be. So this is not going to be I'm gonna help you this one time and then I'll disappear and walk away. We got to do some teamwork together right now. And I challenge Jasmine Crockett, Tallarico, and all these other candidates that are running for office to reach down and help your other people. And I expect Isaiah to do the same thing in Houston. Isaiah fought a good fight, and I support Isaiah. However, I'm looking to see what Isaiah is doing in Houston to help his fellow teammates that are running because he didn't win it. But Isaiah brought a lot of attention with his name and what he did down in Houston. Now I see him in Colorado and all these other states advertising for Colorado and Tennessee and all these other places making this, bringing in this dough. But what are you doing to help your people right here in Texas? What are you doing?
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. But this reminds me of a very similar rant that people had in the previous. No, I'm sorry. I think it was cycle before last, maybe. Back when Colin Allred was first running for the Senate, he was a state house rep before that, so he had to vacate a seat, the state house seat, and there was a massive, massive primary. I mean, there was I think at least 12 candidates in this one primary for Colin Allred's old house seat, and a lot of people were saying, "Man, like we have all these candidates running for this one spot, but then we have vacancies in other areas. Like we have some Republicans running unopposed. Like, why is everyone like focused on this one area when sometimes it's like I think that the ask there was like some people wished that some candidates would rather than running for like a sexy position, run for like a lesser hot position, but one that is unopposed, right? Like ones where the Republican is going to win unopposed. But I will say I was a little bit behind on jumping in and reading comments from Facebook. Eugene Scott says, I agree, run on affordability and the Epstein files. There should also run on removing the Trump tariffs. And then he also says, yes, Democrats should be strong on border patrol, but do it in a respectful way, treat people with dignity through our justice system. And I
Right.
absolutely I
I
agree on
agree.
that.
Now,
Yeah.
but see, even with Trump's tariffs are not legal, even though they're in place, Dale. And let me shift back before I do that, Dale. I want to mention one thing else. The Republican, as bad as we want to say the Republican Party is, but they all fucking work together, Dale.
They
If
do.
you look at the Republican Party, they reach down and they endorse, they reach down and they help you raise money. Look around at the Republican Party around the state of Texas. They are all going door to door helping each other. I have
Yep.
seen them doing their platform and their fundraising, and you see them doing it. Even weak ass Hot Wheels Abbott is helping other candidates across Texas campaign. What are you
Yeah, I'm going to both agree with you and disagree with you at the same time there. And here's what I mean by that. There is a fracture within the Republican Party. However, within this fracture, there's one side that is going to dominate and eat the other. And what I mean by that is the only fracture that we have right now is the fact that there's these two guys called Tim Dunn and Ferris Wilks, and through
Yeah.
their network, they fund a lot of Republican candidates. Recently, Tim Dunn and Ferris Wilks, one of their PACs, associated with Nick Fuentes.
Mhm.
And since then, Dade Phelan and Jared Patterson, my state house representative, actually stood up against that. And it's interesting. He actually was interviewed by WFAA, and he's like, "Yeah, we're demanding that anyone who takes money from Tim Dunn and Ferris Wilks like give the money back." Now, the interesting thing here is that he actually ended that interview with Jason Whately at WFAA, and he basically his last words in the interview was, "I'm probably going to have a primary over this." And sure enough, he is right now. Jared Patterson is in a three-way primary. One of his primary opponents is a J6er, also known as the zip tie guy, because there's a junior sixth rider who's photoed having zip ties on him when he was in the Capitol. But what's interesting thing here is I think there are some Republicans who say, "Whoa, Tim Dunn and Ferris Wilks, they go too far," especially when they associate with Nick Fuentes. But I think that realization is a little too late. And I think those few Republicans who are saying, "Hey, this goes too far. They're pushing us too." Some of them are saying, "Quote, they're pushing us so far to the right that it's wrong." End quote. And I'm kind of almost a little thankful to see this fracture within the Republican Party, but I think that's a dying breed, and I think those are the ones who are going to lose their Republican primaries. And I think that the Republican Party is about to be cannibalized by the people who are on the side of Tim Dunn and Ferris Wilks. And then I think you will absolutely be 100% right, Kenneth, that they will all work together because they'll all be puppets of Tim Dunn and Ferris Wilks, which is why, that they're not necessarily working together. They're just all puppets of the same two puppet masters. I guess would be another way of putting it.
Now, I want to ask you, where do you stand on this, Dale? And I guess Stephanie too. Now, within the Democratic Party, you'll notice most of the people running in the primary and in position in the office, there's 3 or 4 people running in for one spot. I'm gonna use that. I've seen people like, for example, for the congressional district, I think it's 25. There's 4 Democrats running on the same ticket. Now, I feel some type of way about that four on the same ticket because to me it dilutes the voice, it dilutes the vote. Now, what happened to the day and the time when during the election cycle, the strongest Democrat ran and they supported that ticket and maybe they had a backup in case something happened for the alternate person. But when you got four and five Democrats running for the same Senate seat or the same Congress seat or the same county commissioner seat or county
Hmm.
judge, to me that really weakens and it dampens what we're trying to accomplish. And it also dilutes the money and our abilities to raise funds. We need to, in my opinion, stop this foolishness. We don't need to have four and five people running under the same primary ticket. Support the ticket, support the strongest candidate that has the best possibility of beating the Republican Party that you're opposing in that ticket, and put that money to better use. Because back in the day, Dale and Stephanie, this is how it was. You didn't have five Democrats running for the same Congress seat,
Nope.
or five
See,
senators.
see, I can't. I get what you're saying too. I'm gonna jump in real quick because I came from that old school and I worked a lot of campaign back home. When I was a young lady, I worked with a lot of candidates back then, and they had that party was strong. That Democrat Party was very strong, right? They had a meeting of the people.
Mm-hmm.
This is who's going to run. We're going to get behind this person. And you also had the churches behind them too. So basically, whatever those big time preachers said, who was going to run and who was going to support, everybody said, okay, let's go ahead and get behind here. Here in Texas, Texas politics is completely different. I'm not so used to how they roll because sometimes I feel like we throw stuff up on the wall and see how it's going to fall out. And we knee jerk a lot. If we're going to change how we do things for the future for this next generation, we're going to have to all come together. We all know that. All this animosity and division that you mentioned, it's there. We're going to have to put that on a back burner because we got a bigger fish to fry. Because here, ladies and gentlemen, this is 2026. We are the last line of defense. I said that in 2023 and I'm going to say that again in 2026. We are the last line of defense to protect democracy in our state, to protect democracy in our country. We have to do the right thing. Who cares? If you're on the right side, this is the one time in your life that you're going to have to close your eyes, go to that ballot, and go all the way down and vote D.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say this here. If you are D and you're pretending that you're a D, get out the race. I had a discussion today about the mayor of Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they should have recalled him. He wasn't even in that seat 30 days.
And he
And
flipped.
you're gonna go ahead and say, I'm a Republican. I'm sorry, I don't care if you're a Republican or if you're a Democrat. If you got elected for whichever side you on and you decide that you want to switch up, you need to be recalled
Mm.
because whoever voted for you, they voted for you for that position. They did not vote for you to be a Democrat. They did not vote for you to be a Republican. They voted for you for whatever party that you was up under.
To me, that's fraud and deception.
It is. It
Scheme.
is. And I look at it, Ken, as and Dale, I look at that as you're not trustworthy. I can't trust your judgment because you're all over the place. You don't know if you want to be a Democrat or an independent or a Republican. That's like Mike Collier. He sat up there and decided he wanted to go run as an independent. Why the hell would you do that when you got Vicky Goodwin? Vicky is a hell of a good candidate. She is perfect for that job.
Yeah.
I don't know why they primarying her because they know they're dividing up the votes. I think she's a good
Yeah.
candidate, and I'm not endorsing her, but I
Well, I'll
think
endorse her. I'll endorse her in a
I
heartbeat.
can't. well, we're not supposed to endorse anybody until after the primary, but it is what it is. She's smart. She knows what she's doing. She has experience, and she's going to do the right thing.
Yeah, I believe she
Yeah,
will.
I definitely see a lot of this attempts to divide the vote. So in his particular case, I know that I think he switched back to running independent. Is that right? So,
Yeah,
but however, because of the fact he pulled back too late, quote, pulled back too late, because there is a deadline in order to uh,
You're on the
pull your
ballot.
name out of the ballot, because he did that too late, his name will still be on the ballot. Now, I don't know if the votes will actually count or not, but those votes who do go towards him in the Democratic primary, those are votes that could have been for another candidate. Another thing that we're seeing here too, and I got to do more research on this because I don't know if the following has actually voted in Republican primaries. I haven't got my van access back yet, since I lose van access when I file. But in one of our state house races in Frisco, Texas, we have two Democrats running in a primary. We got two Republicans running in a primary. And then we have another race called the Green Party. There's actually a Green Party candidate. And a lot of people are thinking, wait a minute,
see
which
that.
side of the aisle does that take votes away from? Right? Because I know that some people think that the Libertarian may take away votes from the Republican Party, but the Green Party
He can
might be taking votes away from the Dems. But I don't know.
now.
But
I think the Green Party was with the Republican, weren't they, or was that the Tea Party? Is the Green Party the Tea Party?
Was Democrat, but they took from both. They honestly
Mm.
took from both because you think about it. What was that older man that kept running for every damn election? He'd run further on a green ticket. I can remember his name right now. He'd go independent. That old man.
I know who you're talking about. Oh my God, I forgot his name. He's dead.
Yeah. Now I will say,
Yeah, he
I
ran for
got,
president.
yeah, I got a phone call today, and I'm debating it. I was somebody called me and they gave me Mundani's phone number in New York and said that he would love to hear from me. Um, and I'm tempted, Stephanie. If I got somebody from New
Do it.
yeah,
is
good on you.
reach
Do
out
it.
to me. Uh, I'm just disappointed that doesn't happen here in our own city. I
Look,
keep going back to that, but
Ken, I'm gonna tell you like this here. Do we have issues in Texas? Yes, we do. Now, Kendall is doing a fair job in trying to fix it as much as he possibly can, but he can't fix it by himself. We still have, we got a lot of county chairs that's not even in their county. We don't have all the county chairs spots filled,
yeah,
right? We don't have all the precinct chairs filled. So people are struggling trying to even get them to do those little jobs that are big jobs. A precinct chair, hey, they got a lot of responsibility. They help get the people out to go vote, you know. But if we have to get outside people to go and help us, I say do it. Because whatever happens in Texas, it's going to affect the whole country. So if you have an opportunity for him to have a spotlight on you, take it. Because how I look at it, he's going to be saying your name up there. I'll bring him on the podcast if he wants to. I'll bring him on here.
I'll ask.
He's going to
I'll
bring
ask.
he's going to bring attention to Texas. And like I said, whatever happens in Texas, it's going to go out through the whole country. So we need outside people to look in and see. You saw what our House members did.
Yeah,
They brought attention to our state because they knew that jerry rigging mess that happened, it affect the whole state. We need help. We cannot fight this battle by ourselves. We're going to need help. We need financial support. We need volunteers to get out there and help us knock on these doors. We cannot pass up not one door. We have to get the young people out, get them involved, and let them know what is at stake because we're fighting for their future right now. Because if we don't fight for their future, they're not going to have a job. They're not going to have clean water. They're going to continue on moving back home to their parents. So they're not going to move out because they can't afford to. We're going to have people this year we're going to have lots of tons of people that's going to die right now because they can't afford their medicine.
yep.
because the
Yeah.
insurance is way too high. I
And
just spent
I'm
$187 to see a doctor.
Stephanie, a mother on TikTok she was a mother of seven. She was 25 and she died of heart failure because Medicaid, they kicked her off of Medicaid when January 1st came around, and Medicaid paid for her heart medications, and without her medication, she's already dead. And it's only been 21 days into the month, and she passed away a couple days ago. And
And well, the same thing with the lady with with cancer.
yeah,
That's why I don't understand how these people vote or not vote, and they think this is okay. It could be this is going to affect somebody in your family. What's going on? So yes, we do need to get out to go vote, but we also got to make sure that we get people registered to vote. We got to constantly stay on top of that. We have to get the young people involved, because if they're not involved, they're not going to like, well, it's not my problem. Well, we don't have no future. That's going to be their mentality on that. You got our military people. We got to let them know, even though they can't publicly say who they support or what's going on, they hear what's going on and they can't publicly come out and say it. So we have to fight for them as well. You know the deal, Ken. You was in the military, so you know what they can and cannot do. We have to fight for their future as well, because I know darn well they do not want to have boots on the ground and have to put their M6 in front on one of their people. They don't want to do it. They don't. So it's our job as veterans, as citizens, to fight for the people. It's our job as this generation, my generation, we got we got to fight for them. We got to fight for our kids, our kids' kids, because what's happening right now is America is sitting on an island by ourselves. This man is like an abusive spouse that is beating up his spouse and isolating us from everyone.
yeah.
That's what he's doing. He wants us to be isolated. So guess what? We're not going to be able to have help. We're not. We don't have nowhere to go to. If NATO turns its back, and NATO got lots of power, if NATO turns their back on us, we're in a hell of a lot of trouble. Even though we have the best of the best military on the planet, but they can't fight all the wars by themselves. They're
No,
gonna need.
it takes a team.
It does.
It takes a team. I know I sidetracked us with that one. I didn't mean to, but yeah, it's too many hot topics, Stephanie. And
But you did great. You did great. So I know we're getting past time and stuff. I'm gonna talk about this one thing. Y'all know that we got this ice blizzard coming in Friday evening and into Saturday this weekend. And I know we have a lot of activities going on in the DFW area. Y'all, please be safe. Be safe. Check on your loved one. Please check on the elders and make sure that they have what they need. If you have to go to work, make sure that you're packing your cars up with blankets, water, and some snacks. Because I know I got to put snacks in my car. Pack it up. Make sure you're safe. Check your tire pressure. Make sure that you got everything working. Warm your car up and take care of yourself. Check in. Let somebody know you're safe.
agree.
Dale, what you got?
Sure, I'll add on to that too and say things are going to get very, very cold. Don't forget to drip your faucets. And please, 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 whatever you do, do not, I repeat, do not ever try to use your gas stove to warm your house. You can get yourself killed if you try to do that by
Carbon
carbonation
monoxide.
poisoning. I'm blanking on the poisoning, but yeah. So that said, if we're closing out, sounds like, then I will also plug another major event that's going on right now. In Frisco, Texas, there is a special election for a city council member. There are two individuals who are running for a Frisco City Council right now. The last day to vote, I think, is next week. So I know that. See, basically, I'm really hoping if you live in Frisco, Texas, either vote tomorrow before the major storm gets here, or make sure you vote early next week. When I think the election day might be around then. There are two candidates running for office. Only one of the two is endorsed by the Collin County Republican Party. Now, I do not endorse anyone. The Frisco Democratic Club does not endorse either candidate. We do not endorse candidates in nonpartisan elections like city council. I will say in full honesty, they both lean right of center. However, only one is endorsed by the Republican Party and the other does not. So the one that is not endorsed by the Republican Party is Ann Anderson. So this is not an endorsement, but just please know when you're voting, Ann Anderson is the one who is not endorsed by the Republican Party. So I just wanted to plug that real quick because your chances to vote right now are very, very slim, especially with the storm that is coming up. And that said, I'll pass it back off to our candidate to introduce himself. Tell
Yeah,
us
I'm gonna
where
bring them up.
people can find more information about you and where can people donate to you. Kenneth, take it away.
Guys, I want to say thank you guys for hearing me and allow me to come on your show again tonight. It's been a pleasure, Steph and Dale. I've enjoyed it. But guys, for those of you that would like to find me, you can find me at www.kennethforcongress2026.com. There you will find a link that will take you to my ActBlue account that will allow you to donate to my campaign, which is a 100% grassroots campaign, might I add. And if you aren't able to donate and you'd like to volunteer, we are in need of volunteer services. You can either drop me an email at kenneth@kennethforcongress2026.com or on my website there, you can drop a link. There will be a link there or a spot that will allow you to email me. So with that being said, I do appreciate your time. I want you guys to stay safe out there. And I want you guys to say, hey guys, if you know ICE is around, break out your phones, please record. Be safe. Don't give these crazy people any opportunity or excuse to do anything to hurt you or your family. Stay safe. Back to you, Steph.
Wow, thank you for saying that. You know what? I forgot to mention that in Denton, our county commissioners voted for ICE to come through, so they passed a 287G for the sheriff to be able to pull people over, and basically, it's going to be a lot of racial profiling going on up here in Denton County. And the sheriff said, no, we're not going to do that. I'm going to hold people accountable. But he can't watch everybody. If they're doing it before it happened, they're going to do it now.
People don't have to open their doors. If you're at home, guys, and somebody knocks on your door and they identify themselves, talk through the door. Don't open your
Yeah.
damn door to anybody. They
Yeah.
cannot force their way in. If they do, record. But legally, they cannot force their way into your home. There's a difference between a judicial warrant and an administrative warrant to enter your property. They cannot enter your property with an administrative warrant. It has to be signed by a judge. Do not open your door, go in your house, lock your door. Don't open it. Stay safe. You know, you don't have to volunteer information. Again, stay safe. Look out for your brothers and sisters. Let them know, hey, if ICE is in the area, let them know. Again, don't fight with them,
Wilson,
argue with them. Go ahead, Steph.
we got to get whistles. We got to get whistles. I can't whistle with. I can't do manual whistle, so I'm gonna have to go buy a whistle. Y'all, whistle. Let people know what's going on. Please stay safe. Please, y'all know the drill. Make sure that you have your ID on you. Make sure you have everything that you need on you. I hate to tell people that, hey, you got to carry your stuff with you, but you do, just to prove who you are.
And
It's sad that we got to go to that.
I want to add, if you are one of my Latino brothers and sisters, take your iPhone. Your biometrics can scan your phone to turn off airplane mode. ICE is known right now to take your phone, stick it in your face, and when your face activates your phone, they will turn off your airplane mode so that your family cannot find you. Take the airplane mode off the front widget of your phone so that they actually need your password to log into your phone and not just put it in front of your face. Remove that airplane mode because once they put you in airplane mode, your family have no way of knowing where you are.
That is crazy.
Yeah, they're doing that now. They're putting your phone in your face. And then when you put your phone in your face, it'll unlock and they're turning off airplane mode when they stop you. Yeah, they're taking phones out of your hands now. Turn off airplane mode. This is why I've told everybody that I know in my family, we've taken airplane mode off of our, the original lock screen. We're taking it off so that they actually need your password to get into your phone instead of just scanning your face to turn it off.
See, people call me old, and that's why I keep my Android because you know what? I need my passcode because you know my eyelash might not be on right, and I don't want to scan my face. I'm just saying, I got to bring a little humor to this because this has been a depressing year ever since this man got in office. So we got to keep some type of humor in there. But please, y'all, please be safe out there. Please be safe. Check on your loved ones, have some type of meetup place, have some type of way that y'all going to be able to communicate to each other if stuff go down, because they have already done some things to the phone systems. Like Kenneth was saying, they've already done that. So they already are tracking us anyway. They already have the cameras up and scanning people's license plate. They have it over here in Trophy Club. They've been doing it forever over in Trophy Club. You come in Trophy Club, they already know who you are because they're scanning your license plate.
It's facial
So
recognition software.
yes. So y'all be careful. I'm like, you can't be riding dirty anymore. You better have a ski mask on or something. I don't know. Change out your license plate tag. I don't know. Y'all gonna have to come up with a different way of doing things. But I just want everyone to be safe, y'all. I don't know if the progressive Toastmasters is having their event live Monday. I
Yes.
think you're still out on that one.
Yes, sorry, I forgot to plug that event as well in closing. And also in closing, I'll say that Progressive Leaders Toastmasters is hosting a very special event where we have two candidates who are vying for your vote in a primary. There is a primary for Congressional District 26. And then January 26th, it will be all about Congressional District 26, as both Ernest Lineberger and Stephen Shook are going to be together at the same time answering questions in a moderated candidate forum. And then questions will be able to come from the audience for a half an hour after that. So please do come out and decide who you're going to vote for by coming out to the Progressive Leaders Toastmasters on January 26th. Right now, it does seem that there's a major storm coming in, and we're not quite sure if we're going to be doing it in person, but we will at least be doing it over Zoom. But in order to get the Zoom link, please go to Facebook and look up Progressive Leaders Toastmasters. You can find us on Facebook, and you can also find us on Mobilize. Search for Progressive Leaders Toastmasters on Mobilize, and you will find our event where you can RSVP to get the Zoom link. Then we'll also let everyone know via email too, because when you RSVP, then we can let you know via email if we're only going to be doing it online or if also in person. And we're going to know more about that probably Saturday or early Sunday. So yeah.
All righty. Well, with that said, Kenneth, thank you for coming on here and talking to us. And I really enjoy you. So yes, you will be back. And hey, this let's talk about it. We just gonna sit back and chill and talk about stuff because you know what? Most candidates only have 2 minutes to talk to the people. This way, you coming on here, you get an opportunity to speak to the people and let them know who you are and what you stand for. And they get to say, yeah, I like him. That's why you got all those followers. But
You gotta figure out how
thank
to
you.
connect this to my YouTube, my TikTok. And if Mondani hits me back, I'm gonna ask him if he would come on and do the show with me as a promotion. I'll let you know. I'll reach out tomorrow to his cell phone number that they gave me, and I'll let you know.
Okay, Dell and I would love to have him on here. And if you are a candidate and you want a platform to speak to the people with, please contact us. Contact me, Stephanie Draper, on Facebook, or you can go to support Draper support at draperfortexas.com and reach out to me that way, or go to let's talk about it Steph at gmail.com to reach out to me if you want to come on the show. Would love to have you. So after that, thank y'all for tuning in. Please be safe. Like, share, subscribe. That's the only way that we can get the word out of what's going on in our state and basically in the country. And we'll see you next week. We have a whole new lineup of guests that'll be on here. So tune in next week at 7 p.m. Y'all have a good night. Be safe. Oh, yeah. I'm going to go do the count tomorrow. So we're going out. I'm somewhere in Denton, and we're supposed to be doing the homeless head count. So I will be out counting. So volunteer. That's all I got, y'all. Y'all have a great night.